Okay, so what I have here is the 20 volt charger that comes with Worx power tools. This is the sort of lowest model one. This will apparently take up to 5 hours to charge one of these 20 volt max lithium batteries. Not horrible, honestly, because I mean, depending on what you're using, plug it in overnight. This came with the snowblower that I'll probably be doing, or not a snowblower, leaf blower that I'm using for stowing my vehicle in and stuff, etc. Basically, just so that I can clean it off easier. So basically, use up a battery or two, plug one in while you're gone for work, plug one in overnight, and then you have two fresh ones in the morning. Not bad. But if you want to use this actively, and if your machine only comes with one battery, these are $80 a piece. The leaf blower I got with two batteries for cheaper through their eBay store, which was nice. But if you go to somewhere like Canadian Tire, you won't get that deal. So, I have a theory, basically. If you take a look at the power adapter, you can see 20 volt, 400 milliamps. Now, this gets fairly toasty, but the thing is, if you were able to shove more current into this charger, would it be able to charge faster? Or is this underrated? Does this draw more current than it says? I don't know. Because basically the quick charger, some of them seem to come with one where it'll charge in an hour or so, or an hour or two. There is also a dual battery charger, which will charge two batteries at the same time in 1 hour, or both in a couple, or one at a time and shorter than maybe an hour and a bit or something. So I figure, let's go ahead and open this up. Because if this is something that you're actively using a lot, then, being able to charge up in an hour, if you don't want to spend the extra, might be good. Especially if you happen to have a bunch of, wall-wart adapters sitting around, and you happen to have something that's rated for 20 volts, an amp, 2 amps, something like that. So, we will break into this. And there is actually a little branded chip on there. I'm not going to bother searching that up, though. So what I will do is simply desolder the negative terminal. Okay, so take two. Seems like I have a slightly flaky alligator clip or something like that. So we're just going to put the multimeter in series, and then hopefully see how much power this draws while it's charging. There we go. So we're at 391 milliamps, which is underneath slightly, but pretty much bang on that 400 milliamp rating of the included wall plug. So yes, we were actually at pretty much bang on the 400 milliamps of this provided wall plug, but the question then becomes, if we provide it with a current source that can provide more, will it charge or pull more current? So we will slightly reorganize how things are laid out. So now I have a 20 volt power supply off to the side, which can deliver up to 1 amp. And let's go ahead and see if this will charge at more than 1 amp or more than 400 milliamps. Okay, so now we have the power supply hooked up. Again, 20 volts up to 1 amp and multimeter in series. So let's see now if it draws any more power. Ooh, and look, we're actually at above 1 amp. So, it's not only drawing double the power, it's actually maxing out the power supply that I have hooked up to it. So it looks like, I'm assuming basically the chip inside this charger is the same one used inside their higher end chargers. That's something that I can't validate right now, since I don't have one. But basically, it looks like if you hooked up a 2 amp or a 1 amp at least power supply to this charger instead of the stock one that it comes with, you'll double or maybe triple your charging time and drop it down from 5 hours to 2.5 hours to maybe 1 hour. What I'll do is I'll see if I can find a spec for that little chip down there, and then maybe add it into the video afterwards, or put a link down below to see if it does have a maximum current rating. But right now it seems to be quite happily drawing an amp without any sort of major signs of issues or anything like that. So yeah, that is basically a really quick and easy and potentially free way to basically hack your charger that came with your Worx battery. Just hook it up to a higher amperage power supply. Same voltage. Amperage won't matter because it'll only draw as much as it needs. But yeah, so you can then replace the 400 milliamp one with something that you have sitting around, or maybe an old laptop power supply. That'll be a really good candidate. Even if it's 19.5 volts or something like that, that would probably still work really well. So yeah, that is basically a quick and dirty way to basically half the charging time of your Worx batteries using the stock included charger. So hopefully that was useful to some people. I know I'll be scouring for an old laptop power supply to hook up to this. That way I can charge these batteries up way faster, and that means that I can do it without spending the $60 with tax on the dual slot fast charger. If I wanted to charge up 4 amp hour batteries too, this would be a really good improvement. And then of course the big charger will be able to do 2 4 amp hour batteries at the same time. But, you know, if you don't want to spend all of that extra money, and if you got something like the leaf blower that came with 2 batteries, but just this basic cheap charger, I don't even think there's a model number on it, you can basically just hook this charger up to something with a higher amperage output and half your charging time.